Alright, guys, it is the 30th day of the month of June, and with that, it is officially the end of the first half of 2025. So, we welcome you to another episode of the Gliders on Bet WGB TV. My name is Emmanuel Sebastian, standing in place of Euphoria, Joy, who's not available to host the show today. So, it's always a pleasure to come in as a substitute instead of Joy. So, welcome along to another edition of the show. I'm here with the crew, Fantastic Four, if you want to call them that way. And we are here to give you another brilliant episode of the Gliders. It's been a wonderful first half of the year. Just before we get into the show, how has the first 6 months of 2025 been for you guys? I'll start with Elegbete on the show today.
It's been everything. I'm grateful. I always look at life through the positive lenses, so I'm grateful. I mean, I'm paying medical bills like it's water tax now, but there are other things that are working well with me. So we started this show. It's been a promise that I've been making to you, Joy, Timothy. The only odd man out of the promise is Mikolo, who's turned out to be a rare gem, a special find. So as a person, I'm also now becoming a director instead of just being the analyst that I used to be, that I've mastered, learning how to be that one. Also learning how to not owe salary, realizing that in Nigeria, 30 days is not actually the length of the month. Another 15 days can join before money drop in your pocket, so you have to figure out how to pay your team so that everybody's happy. It's not been easy, but knowing how to survive that has been great. And then being a married man and also acting like I'm a single father, this has been incredible. But it's fine, there's progress. The car that I paid for 6 years ago finally arrived.
We go, like Timothy said last time, we go wash them.
Okay, so let me tell you the rule to washing car. So that you will take
now your mouth can hear that in first. The rule to washing car.
Let me tell you the rule to washing car is when you buy your first car, you wash it. After that, nothing. I bought my first car when I was like 17 going to 18.
We did not know you then.
You came late to the party. It's not my business.
Well, Mikolo, for you, how's there's this, I don't know if the year has been too fast or too slow for you, but how's it been for you the first 6 months?
I don't know. I feel like it's been a bumpy ride. It's like a very crazy thing. You can't take a breath, and I think that's what comes with adulthood. The fact that your head is constantly racing. There's like life on so many angles. There's a family life, there's career, there's finance.
I won't go as far as saying it's a scam. There's one song like that, adulthood not scam.
Adulthood is not scam. Adulthood is not scam. It's just that you have to, you've been used to being dependent on people. But let's be very honest. I don't know, apart from Timothy that is Ajabota, you guys send me Ajabota. The rest of us, now forget Ajegole Siga Ajabo. When I use Ajegole to deceive us. But the rest of us who were breadwinners from the age of 9 became a bakery from the age of 11, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15. We're already the bakery. I don't really think that adulthood would be classified as a scam. Rather, for me, adulthood made me more responsible, because I grew into this adulthood. I lost my childhood pretty early and I became an adult, but it also made me realize that you're responsible for people, and I guess it's what has made me this person that I am. Most time I tell people that even in places where I work, the reason why I'm able to hold it down is that I'm not born 12, my papa born 57. You can't go past that. I don't care what the drama that comes in the workplace. You can't go past living in that kind of family where there's chaos and everything. And I survive well in chaos. And adulthood is actually chaos. I'm not Eden Hazard, but I do very well in chaos.
Well, I don't know if I do very well in chaos, but the problem is that adulthood doesn't give you a choice, so you have to definitely go through that chaos,
and you run towards the storm.
That's what it has been like. And also, I feel like for the very first time in like a very long while, like Edafe said, I also like had to like grow up early, first child, first grandchild on both sides. Do you understand? So there's like a lot of pressure. But I feel like for the very first time in last 10 years, I had like 2 years back to back where the first half was kind of good. Before, I used to like rely on the second half to bounce back. So the second half of the year is always like pretty much good for me. So but last year there was AFCON in the first half, very good first few months. The other few months until the half I suffer. small. But this year, like from February
Timothy
to like
cannot
now,
relate to.
from
Why
February
do
to
you
now,
think
it's
so?
like
Timothy,
it's like the
you
very
can-
first
you
time.
can relate,
It's
I'll
like,
beat you for
it's like the
this.
very first time in a long while that the first half of the year was like pretty much balanced for me. You know, there's like orderliness, and I feel like that's what, you know, this show happened. My job at a football club happened,
Yeah.
so there's a little bit of orderliness in my life.
Can you
Before
not
it
see
used to
that
be,
all those
it used to
storms
be
are
like
not giving you a CV, a pedigree, and a
Yeah.
personality that people can depend on?
Yeah, to be honest, before now, people know to believe that I didn't necessarily do like a 9 to 5 when it comes to sports. So I'm always like very chaotic, freelance every time, every year for like, I've been working in industry for like 7 years, 8 years. There's always been like one freelance to the other, some months good, some months bad. So this is like the very first time in a long time that I have like, let's say, a sort of like stable routine job. There's gliders on Monday, there's meeting, there's structure and all of that. So I feel like it's a pretty first good half of the year. The second half, there's AFCON, there's WAFCON to come. There's like a whole lot of things to look forward
let's
to.
attack.
And
Let's
I'm
attack the second
really,
half. Yeah.
I'm really like pumped because
Pumped for
second
it.
half is like my it's
Energy.
Let's go. Yeah, Timothy,
There's
for
so
you.
much in the second
I'm
half.
trying
There is WAFCON, there is
Chan.
Chan,
there's AFCON.
there is what on the 17th,
Yeah.
then
World
there
Cup,
is
so
the
there's
grand one.
the AFCON.
Forget what Jerry Carragher thinks. There is the biggest tournament in the world.
I feel like I just bore out my
I just run into
I feel
this.
like I just bear my life out on the show.
That's more like
I'm
it.
really
It is-
grateful, to be honest.
That's
Yeah.
more like it. So,
I'm really
People,
grateful.
people want to know whether we can be vulnerable on
Yeah.
shows like this or whether
I'm
we
feeling
are
grateful, to be
packaging.
honest. Thank
But
you for that question.
I was going to ask, why do you think I cannot relate with struggles?
Timothy,
The way I appear most times, I don't know. It has always
it's not
been
the
a
way
thing.
you appear, it's the way life is set. Your life is structured. If your life is not structured, you're not going to appear like this.
Because that's the thing. Because the way I appear sometimes looks cool. People think that everything's working fine. No, that's not the thing.
Even
when I was in school,
everything is not fine.
yeah, that's what I'm
But
saying. No, when
how many
Nicola
times
was
did you pay
talking,
your school fees?
well,
Let's start with that. I paid my school fees all through from secondary school.
well,
let's not compare struggles.
It doesn't mean I
Yeah.
can't relate with
Yeah.
struggles or it's not like
Struggle is to pass exam. Your own kind of struggle is to
no, that's
our own kind of struggle.
What's
yeah,
your struggle.
This boy, to other person is a struggle, but to you, because of the one
When
you
did you
face, it's not a
give him?
struggle.
When did you give him a job? Listen, Timothy is an ajebo. He should own it.
I am not saying I am not an ajibo, yes,
Thank God.
but it doesn't mean
Move on to the next
no,
topic.
it doesn't mean I can't relate
The
with
only struggle
struggles.
you have is toasting babes.
No,
And
no,
they
that
don't
one.
agree.
Because honestly, I can relate with struggles. I was in school for a period of years. I paid my rent at so many instances. Although it was not too expensive. Okay, I did not school in Lagos, but I paid my rent, do my data. I mean, so many things that I do by
But the one
myself.
show
Buy
will
clothes.
come for you in the comment
Yeah, I
section.
feel
No,
like
I'm
there were
serious.
also
I'm
times that
serious now, I'm
Timothy
not
had to
joking.
reach out.
I know,
remember
no,
in
it's not
school and
a
all
case
that,
of
yeah.
it was all
So I
smooth.
understand.
That's what I'm saying. Appearance
Timothy will ask you for help. He will tell you, I will pay you back. You don't know when you
No,
go to
no,
school.
no, that's
if
not
you ask
the
person
thing.
for help, you say, bros, help me. Timothy, every time he's asking for anything, say,
Timothy,
I
I
will
was,
give you back on
okay,
so
how was your first half of the year?
Okay. Why I used to ask was I was since 2022. I don't know if I can mention. Okay, I've been working with Nairametrics since 2022, and okay, I do some job. I write stuff. So I knew that even if I get the money from you, I could pay back. It's not like it was a big money.
But that's how it should be.
Well, how are
So
you
that's
probably
what I'm
saying that
for-
after that you're going to
for
pay him
money, you
back?
have to
No,
promise that you should.
Why you going to tell him that after that you're going to pay him back?
I don't know, bro.
It's like my kid. You don't understand. It's like Bruno
But
coming
it's just
to
that
ask me,
feeling.
Daddy,
I'm not asking my
Daddy, give me
sibling. I'm not asking my
10,000.
family. That's
Give me
why.
10,000, I'll pay you back.
No,
He will be
that's what
stressed
I'm
to
saying.
pay
I'm
you
not
back.
asking my family. I'm not asking my siblings. So I kind of feel like,
But you
oh,
just
I'm
tell me you
asking
pay me back. So why are you telling me that?
Why don't say I go pay you back?
Now it's
He's
just
always
like
telling
a
me
guy now.
that.
So how was your
The
first
first half of the
year?
year has actually been
Emmanuel
nice.
is the guy that never asked anybody for it.
The first half of the year has actually been nice. I mean, finished school in December practically, and I'll not say it's been really nice. I started a job in December, then okay, we started gliders in April, so it's been kind of a smooth sail after school. Some people they finish school.
4 years, they see the streets.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Check
So
their shoe bed. Submit CV everywhere.
yeah, I'm really grateful that at
I
least to
entered
an
depression
extent,
after school.
it's not like the biggest of course, but it's not like finishing school and you don't have anything to fall back to, and you now start to struggle. Have to be reaching out to people every time to kind of help me and all that. So it's been really nice. Started a job and got another one, then also got another writing gig aside Nairametrics. So it's kind of been smooth, and I'm grateful to God that it will continue to get better.
Your generation is very good. Like in my time, nobody go allow you do multiple job. You remember how it used to be now.
I'm not supposed here. We have 1 or 2 jobs. We do.
Multiple
Combine
jobs
them
are
together.
allowed. Not be YouTube. I do where they sack me for radio.
Well, for those of you watching the show today,
Never say anything.
I mean, we hope you've had a fantastic first half of the year. It's
I
been
think they should
wonderful
also
for us.
drop it in the comments.
Yeah,
Let's
let's
read
know how
your
your-
main points of the first 6
In
months
short,
of the year. Your
I
high
promise
points
that
and
if
your
I
lows as
read
well.
something that is nice, I might send a little token to someone that I just randomly pick. This is not on BWGBO. This is just Misha. I was your first half
This is
of
like
the
a
year.
reflection period.
Yeah, you know, more like it just dawned on me that okay, this is the last.
Imagine
day
me
of
why they
the-
find money for us to
6
go
months of the year.
AFCON. They promised me 500. That'd be crazy.
God is capable.
I don't think they take for streets shop.
Well, for me, the first 6 months has been good. I mean, we've done a lot.
This one that there's
I mean,
ring on your hand today.
Timothy Cameron, I just
I was in the right position.
You don't go marry like from December.
you know, the first 6 months of the year has been really, really, really good. I mean, commentaries, delve into other sports, Enugu Marathon, sports festival,
Military games.
you know, and I was called at some points to do a voiceover, a commentary for a movie. We're yet to see, the movie is yet to be out. So somebody reached out to me, okay, there's a football scene in the movie as well. So just do a 31-minute clip of us with your voice, and you got paid for it.
Royalties done the
It was
coming.
wonderful. So we
Emmanuel's
have to-
success is always an extension of my success.
Royalties
it's
done
been-
the
it's been
coming.
wonderful.
I could
So-
just
so
be
no
hungry and
question.
I see Emmanuel post one thing that is nice and I just feel fulfilled, like, okay, this is good.
All right, says you know, life comes as you fast, so as it comes, you have to enjoy it to the fullest. We're talking about life coming at you fast. That was the case of Botafogo's head coach in the Club World Cup. I mean, few weeks after being a giant killer, defeating PSG, where the celebrations was wide, then you got knocked out by your fellow Brazilian team Palmeiras, and you got sacked. That tells you how the job that tells you how the job of football has been. So we'll start this show pretty much with the Club World Cup. I mean, Timothy, you've watched a lot of games in the Club World Cup. Now, the major talking point,
27,
37. That's really
27.
27.
Or
That's really
52.
massive. And safe to say, the Brazilian teams, they've really showed themselves in this Club World Cup. So 2 had to meet in the round of 16, and Palmeiras got the better of Botafogo. But Jurgen Klopp came out to make a comment recently.
Ignorant
He said,
comment.
I mean, Jurgen Klopp, credit to what he's done now. He's now the head of global soccer with Red Bull, you know, managing the whole Red Bull association clubs. He came out to say the Club World Cup is the worst idea ever implemented. Majorly, maybe because people who sit and make this decision are not really the key players in the sports. They're not playing the football themselves. So
They're actually the key players in the
you know,
sports.
so I would like us to for us to share our thoughts on these comments from Jurgen Klopp. I mean, he's respected. I mean, what he's done in the job as a coach, and now where he is at the moment. So, do you find that comment harsh from Jurgen Klopp? I mean, especially when he come out to say that it's the worst idea ever implemented when it comes to football.
I do not know if I'm going to pick sides, but I think I understand Jurgen Klopp from the part of, okay, being a coach, and when you work with players, you kind of feel for them that there's no place of rest. But if you look at it,
And as a coach, his style of play, Jurgen Pressing. So,
I don't understand what you did.
so maybe you understand where it's coming from.
in the financial side
Why are
of
you
things,
sitting on the fence?
No,
Take
no.
side.
no, in the financial side of things, I think Jurgen Klopp is wrong, and that's where I'm going to tilt towards majorly. If you look at the finances of the Austrian Bundesliga itself, Jurgen Klopp is the head of soccer at Red Bull Salzburg. For the 2023-2024 books, Austrian Bundesliga, the revenue was about 271 million euros. Brighton alone had 251 million euros.
Chicken,
I'm not talking about Salzburg. I'm talking about the Austrian Bundesliga league. I think there are about 16 or 7. How many teams are there? I don't know. But I know there will be at least 16 teams to the list. That league has 271 million euros in revenue. Brighton and over Albion had 251 million euros. If you don't play the Club World Cup, where do you expect money to come out from? These are the things. That's why have you not noticed that any complaint that is coming about the Club World Cup,
And you feel there's never enough money, despite the money already in football.
Yeah, it can't come from an executive who runs the day-to-day activities of a club, who sees that, okay,
Timothy, you get brain.
We have wrapped up the whole conversation.
You know how they write the Bible say the finality
Seller.
of the matter.
You know
The
that place
couple
we write
seller.
seller.
Think about it.
That's
If you don't get
seller.
sense. That's what you just
Yeah,
done.
so it has not come from people that actually run the business side of football or the sports side. Because, I mean, you are a coach, you are employed, you are the one that is being paid. Your job is to coach players, let them win games, let them get 3 points, let them win trophies, let them win tournaments. The job of me as a person, as much as rumors came out that Florentino Perez was going to, I think that time when Carlo Ancelotti was here, they were like, Madrid pull out for Club World Cup.
Oh, yeah.
As Madrid get money rich,
Ayera.
they can't pull out. And so it's about the finances, the players, the amount they are being paid, exorbitant clauses, score 5 goals, we'll add this to your money, get into the Champions
Where
League
the money go
final.
from?
Like, so
Kidney.
there's a whole lot of money that is being spent. I know that there's a part of players need to rest and all that, injuries, but I mean, they will have to get used to it. There's still more to come if they don't know. So let them start getting their mind prepared. The Super League idea would eventually still come to play. Eventually. So there's still more to come. Different leagues. Before you know it, they'll pick 5. I mean, which year did they start the Finalissima? Why did the Finalissima come to play? Just because of money. So it's about the money, and you guys have to play the football.
Edafe, I'm going to come to you. Okay, Mikolo, I wanted to come to Edafe on the injury part from what Klopp said. You know, do you see that as a fair point? I mean, the timing and the duration of the tournament. This is a 4 weeks tournament, just 2 weeks after the end of the season, and less than 4 weeks before the start of the new one. No much rest for the players. So, from that angle, from Jurgen Klopp's statement, do you want to at least see the point he was making?
There's never going to come a point where I will see Jurgen Klopp's direction, point of view in this, because let's track back to the 60s. In the 60s, the Premier League had 24 teams. They play about 42 games, 42 or 46 games in a season. Then there is the FA Cup. Then there is the League Cup.
If it's 24 teams, that's 46 games.
Then there is the Euro Cup, that the Champions Cup, which is not the Champions League. There is the Cup Winners' Cup, and then there's the UEFA Cup. All of those competitions existed. The only difference was that there were no commercial pre-season, but players were earning £2,000, £3,000, no special bonus. You could score 42 goals in a season and nobody cares. It doesn't really matter. Now, when you sign a contract, in that contract, there are a list of clauses. When Man City signed Haaland for 56 million, what they didn't tell us was that his father collected 20 million pounds for sperm contribution. Yes, that's it. He didn't collect the money as his manager or as his agent or as anything. He collected the money for being the father of the Norwegian tour. They gave him, this is the money he didn't earn playing for Man City as Afi Haaland. They gave him 20 million. That money does not require work. All he did was just donate sperm to a woman's womb. The child grew up and that money was paid. Then
there's some weird things you see on
No,
contracts.
let's
then
see
the
that kind
agent
of close.
collected money. Now the player have clauses on his contract that say if he wins Ballon d'Or, he gets 2 million. He win the league, he gets so. He win the top goal scorer, he gets so. They win the Champions League, he gets so. And in his second season, they won the treble. All this money that are going to be paid, where are they going to get it from? The same club is being charged 115 million for allegedly cooking the books to inflate their sponsorship. Now, if you don't want to inflate your sponsorship, you don't want to cook the books, what do? You play as many games as possible that will give you legitimate money to pay the club. The Jurgen Klopp that is talking, will you come and coach Kwara United? Will he take Naira for salary so that he become a true purist of the game? I have spoken, let me not mention him now, but I have asked so many people why Remo Stars, with all their facilities and everything, they're one of the best clubs in Nigeria, why they cannot measure up to Orlando Pirates. And the 600 million they spent to win the league in a season is chicken feed compared to what Al Ahly, Orlando Pirates, Mamelodi Sundown, TP Mazembe, those clubs that are the upper echelon of African football. So if you don't have means to get that money, I remember Toby, lamenting on social media about the fact that the winner of the league gets 250 million, while the others who escort them to the share 10 million each. It doesn't make sense. Now, if one sponsor come to the league and say, okay, you know what, you're playing 38 games, but we're going to sponsor the league, we're going to make sure each team gets to 200 million, but in addition, you're going to play one kind of super league after the competition to satisfy the dictates of the sponsors. You think that GTI or MPFA can say no to it? The clubs too will play because now you're getting extra money. He who pays the piper still dictates the tune today. Jurgen Klopp is the piper that gets paid. He cannot tell me what tune he wants to play. The DJ who came for my wedding, the very minute I told him DJ music, that's Olamide's DJ. The very minute we negotiated for money, I gave him a list of music he will play my wedding. Don't come here and play Pangolo music. It is my wedding. I'm the one inviting you. I will give you food. I'll give you canopy, the space to stay.
I'll pay you.
Play and pay your bills. Play if you play anything outside this music, this list, you go get problem. Recently, I broke a deal for Timida Kolo to perform at Boaz group event. Once they paid him, the next thing they give him a list of his own songs, the one that he will play and the one that should not be heard in that play. Don't come there and play this one, this. I want to hear. So on that front, you have to look at the guys who are paying the money and say, are they doing charity? The only way what Jurgen Klopp is saying can make sense is if he can advocate for players to start any less. You can't have.
That's what I was going to say.
You can't have a Sancho that is angling for £300,000.
That's why I left Chelsea.
That's 1.2 million pounds, right? Excluding bonuses. So, you have Osimhen that wants £400,000 a week. Napoli have called him back now to come do medical. You have this Ogbori who leave Man United and went to Aston Villa. Rashford, earning close to 400 or £400,000 a week. And then you're telling me that the idea is rubbish. You think that Madrid don't want their players to rest? They want them to rest. But the thing is, they also realize that we have to pay. Barcelona have been paying the deferred salaries since. Thank God this June, they are ending the payment. But all of those money rose up to about 800 million. You think somebody will not pay? Somebody will not pay for it. Your body go pay for them. So coming back to injuries, the tackles in football today are lesser. If I lean my shadow on you, it's a foul. VAR will check it. If you go back and watch the 1966 World Cup and see the kind of tackle that they gave Pele, you'll be wondering, is this football or is martial art? In 1982, a German goalkeeper, Schumacher, tackled a French player, forgotten it. They carried him with stretcher to the hospital, broken bone in the neck and all that. Not even a foul was awarded, not talk of card. The fouls are different. If running around, chasing the ball for 90 minutes is what's going to make you injured, you're not fit to play the game of football. Because there was a time where people get really kicked. Sure, there was a time where it is allowed. If you miss the ball, don't miss the man. A player became very popular in Africa for being the guy who missed the ball but never missed the man. They call him 10-10. His name is Bright Omokaro. He's a hero. Not for the many goals he scored, the many goals he saved, the many dribbles.
For the injuries
the injury he cost an opponent. He's a hero. Then look at people like Sergio Ramos. You don't defend like that anymore. The terrible West of this world, you don't defend like that anymore.
Pepe.
God will bless you. And then you're telling me Burushaga. Even the name alone should send the fear of going into
Burushaga.
Why are you going to play against? I'm playing against Burushaga. Gattuso. Nesta, the silent destroyer. Maldini is not even rough. It's just very, very good at what he does. All of these guys, Ambrosini, you play against Gattuso. You play against Edgar Davies, a beast that is coming at you with all force, and people still play football. Now you're playing. If there's a way somebody will lean on, you know how many penalties that have been awarded in the last 2 seasons in football. Yeah. I'm like, wait, this not far. Like this thing is far. Back in the day, they'll give you yellow card for going down under such kind of pretense. Yeah. So the point is, the fouls are lesser. The game is simpler. There's so much statistics that's backing up average players, making them look like they are great players. My brother, if you go earn £400,000 a week, you better play 360. You should be playing 2 games per day, every day.
If I'm not mistaken, when these players are even injured, they still get paid.
Yeah. Yes.
And their bonuses.
You get paid.
Do they still get paid their bonuses?
Do you have a different
I think from my own perspective is the fact that I feel like there's associations, there's unions that are always backing up the player that makes us see into their own POV. But I don't think there's the same kind of association or unions that make us go back into the books to also see how these guys are trying to balance the payments for these guys. Because you see agents now demanding for absurd fees. Nobody wants to. There should be, if you are advocating for some competitions to
And
be
there's no
scrapped,
regulation,
then
no.
also you should also have a salary cap. Maybe introduce salary cap into football if you don't want people to play certain number of games. But if you are able to say, oh, some certain players deserve all of these things, see what they are offering Ronaldo in Saudi. Forget that they have personal money and they have their own money and all of that. So if players in Europe are demanding those kind of treatment, do you know how much Neymar was collecting at Paris Saint-Germain?
Neymar get paid for clapping to the fans. Telling the fans, thank you for supporting, no paying money.
They will give them
For
chef.
tweeting about the club where they play for.
They will give them chefs. They will give them personal assistant. They will give them cars. They will give them private jets and all of those. So all of these expenses definitely have to come from somewhere. So commercial is not enough anymore.
Nicolo, they've not started, sir. They never start with the
commercial is not enough anymore.
They never see
buying kits, buying jerseys are not enough anymore. There has to be a way to balance the books, and that's why people are starting to cook the books, because it's not getting balanced anymore. See Chelsea now. Chelsea don't buy Joao Pedro. They don't buy
7
Pedro
years
Neto.
contract.
In 4 summers now, they don't pay how many people money. Like they've spent over 700 million in just 4
just to make top 4.
Do you understand? So there's a whole lot that is going on. There has to be a balance. If you want to clamor for limited game time, I understand his point of view, but also, as everybody has said, you are the one that is getting paid. You are not the one in charge of getting the money. People that are in charge of getting the money, people that are running from
And then they find the money, now you don't do the
for
work.
marketing deals, know what they are facing, know what they know how many games they have to do to be able to get the commercial value for this money that they are investing in this player. So you have to get on the field. Let's
Because
your boots.
do I even tell you
See,
that? Okay.
This show that we're doing.
Yeah.
Shall we're here now. Toby went to the US and then there was flight issue.
Yeah.
He was ranting. Toby is not known to rant that much. Toby is known to first understand things, relax. But he knows what he has
The impact,
promised to
his
his
deliverables,
sponsors, his deliverables, and this thing might affect it. So he had to come out and make that noise so that people know that, oh, this is what happened. Oh. But he will still struggle to fit it in. We've been saying since January that we want to go to African Women Championship, right? You guys have gotten accreditation. Between you and me, just to get visa alone, we're talking about 2 million, 2.5 million. We've not gotten flight. I'm sitting here running around when people my wife said it's all this running around that's making me sick. When we're done, we now go there and you're not delivering the content, or we get there and I tell you, oh, go and shoot in the morning, in the afternoon, and you say it's too much work. And I'm going to trying to raise the money.
Do you understand?
You know, that when the outcome comes, I will just completely tell you I'm not interested in you. That's why it will not be hate. It will just be the fact that you would kill my business.
Absolutely.
You represent,
do you know where the funds are coming from?
what will kill my business. And like I got a new car and I'm already putting it down as collateral for loan. Why never even drive? Oh, it's only past Third Milan Bridge twice.
I think these are some of the things
This
that
is very small,
fans too should also understand these things, because sometimes as a journalist, when you come online and say, oh, this person is declining my interview, this person is trying to do this, and people start saying you are feeling entitled. Bro, do you know how much I spent to come and cover this game?
No, when
you are telling me that there's no media pally. You are telling me your media pally you don't want to talk or something. Bro, do you think I came to Abidjan to joke? Do you understand? So I've also heard from like senior colleagues, and even me, I've been in that situation where when you are going for a tournament, you already have a number of deliverables you've promised. Oh, I'm going to give you 4 players interviews and all of this, and then I get to the camp, and then probably because of one reason or the other, you're telling me I can't do this interview, I can't do this. Do you know what I've promised?
Let me give you this.
Do you understand? So
I signed a deal. Okay, me and my partner Larry, we signed a deal. There's a $1 million to be given to us. This is free money because we'll still sell to Netflix or Prime, and we're negotiating $3.2 million already. That one is settled. We paid NFF our access fee. We demanded NFF needs to write to CAF that look, these guys are not journalists, so these guys are shooting a documentary, Netflix, Prime Standard, all or nothing type, right? For the Super Eagles. They are supposed to tell the players, eventually die or told the players. Do you know that the captain and vice captain, Ahmed Musa and Trustekong, stood up against us that they don't want us to get access into the camp? They were not angry with us, so they were angry with the NFF, but we were victims. And we have invested $375,000 of our money plus borrowed money, put property on the line to collect money. My partner has lost some properties. His marriage was shaking, right? And then when you complain, some ignorant folks who've never signed a 5,000 naira contract in their life will be on social media telling you why you are disturbing the players. No. The people that shot all or nothing in Arsenal, that Man City and Man United and Chelsea and Tottenham Hotspur, were they not in their face all the time?
It is contract.
Did this stop them from winning? Did we not sign a contract? Did I not pay? Did I not meet my obligations? You know, but sometimes when people do this,
say you are distracting the players.
Distracting a professional player where this is your job.
Arsenal's training, you will see the media guys
the
there.
camera will be in your face all the time. You have a media obligations. Then I went to Uyo. You know, when we went to Uyo, myself, Jamil and Kalejaye, I always make sure if you've traveled with me, you know accommodation and feeding is comfortable. It's the maximum. There's nobody who's traveled with me who will say, oh, when you walk with me, you get satisfaction. We got there. They said media pally is 15 minutes. Hold on. That Kelechi and Wilfred Didi said they are not interested in media. They are on their own, that we should not even bother them. And then there are some other players who don't want to talk, who are selecting, who say, oh, Nigerian journalists don't ask the right question. This is my job to ask you the right question. Are you going to write the script of a question I'm going to ask you? Then when you're done with all of that, you're not left with players that, if you have a sponsor, this one I'm doing from my pocket. So I could jolly well go interview the home-based players and say, I'm taking a risk. Nothing comes out of it. I spent 16.3 million naira doing around the MPFL within a space of 6 months. 16.3 in period where my son was having brain surgery and throat surgery, right? My 3-year-old going to 4-year-old son. In all of that, I didn't get any of those content to hit 1,000 views. And so when I complain, somebody will not tell me this. No,
they'll tell you you're feeling entitled.
Remember when Ruben Amorim came to Man United, where it was like in 2 weeks, where he was saying he has done much media. Like, bro, this is the Premier League.
Contractual.
Media is what we they use chop. So it's not even about the club. It was like Premier League standard. You have to do media interviews.
If
and
England go to the World Cup, whether they chop 5-0 or not, M&M sponsors a food brand, sponsors their Lions Den. There's a show called Lions Den hosted by John Denzel.
Yeah,
you dare not miss it. It is contractual. No matter what is going on in that tournament, they have to honor it. It is contract. This is why their brand is valuable.
Today we're talking business. Let's bear it all out. I went to meet a soft drink company. You guys are sponsors of the NFF. The Super Eagles are, going to go to the Nations Cup and all that, and also the women team are going to have WAFCON. Can we do some business? You know what? They told me that their contract have expired, and over their dead body would they work with the NFF? And I said, why? Because I've done business. My biggest money in the industry earlier, back in 2006, was from them, Coca-Cola, and they said they put in $5 million for sponsorship of the NFF. They didn't get mileage. All the deliverables were not made. When it's time for them to come to camp and then there's time for them to do their activation, they never get the chance to do it. $5 million. $5 million. Your Nike that is kitting you is not giving you 1% of that money in a year. These guys give you $5 million. I say, if I be NFL president, I go shop shit for that job, for all their deliverables to be done, so that next time I will say, give me $10 million. That's how they cancelled
there's a lot of commercial knowledge that has to be done.
And then somebody will come and tell you they play too much game. Say media camera is so much in their face. If you don't want to do,
I think the last international break, there was a car brand that was sponsoring Super Eagles.
Yes.
At least they tried to even get content, went into the training session, had a live, and all of the guys.
And
after we dropped point, people started complaining of what?
See, I think Mikolo,
of media obligations.
Like you said, what we
meanwhile,
need to
one
do
Super Eagles game away from home is 350 million. 350 million. You just said that they pluck up from trade.
Mikolo, what we need to do is like continue to educate people, especially Twitter, the fans, and let them know that, see, behind the football, behind the 90 minutes training, there are so many things that has to be done. Money has to be made. Yes. Money will be paid, and you have to find a way to get those monies.
So
exactly.
people, my question is now.
Storm is brewing in September. The two World Cup qualifiers. I thought I was still getting hope that let's play these qualifiers and see if we can qualify as top or go to the playoff. The NFF is owing Super Eagles players, both the ones that are currently playing and them Kenneth Omeru and the rest of them. Some that they forced. They Ahmed Musa. 30 match bonuses that have not been paid, stretching to the Amaju era. Now, with deliverables not being met, with a lot of things not happening well, and the team not playing well, where do you think they were going to raise that money? As I'm talking to you, the Super Eagles, if the NFF don't know, they should know through this show, are planning a strike They will come to camp very early, but they will not come out for training. The match day, they will do what Civication and Co did against Ghana, where they were in the dressing room. Say they are not coming out if their money are not paid. All of a sudden, money appeared from Ghana must go. They did abracadabra, money came out. That similar situation is about to happen in September. Watch out for this. When that time comes, you now start understanding why they should do what. Now, I don't know.
Master, this is why you need to, give credit to, Nigerian. I'm talking about the Club World Cup now. We have a handful of Nigerians who traveled all the way to cover this tournament. And we have some that are there, Simon Bono and the likes. Jane is there. Molat is there. Like you mentioned, Toby Adupoju also touched down there recently.
Janine is there.
When you travel, Janine is there as well. When you travel and at the end of the day, you meet deliverables for whatever brand that is sponsoring you. So you have to give credit
Toby
to
never land finish. Don't they do content?
That's what it is. So you have to give credit to people who
the worst of
to go on to cover this tournament as well.
Me and you, whose YouTube number is below the cutoff mark for any sponsor to look at you. No matter how romantic my proposal is right now, if I send it to a sponsor, say, what's your YouTube number? 18,000. Nah, that's not what we're looking for. How many Nigerian sports channel gets up to 1 million? No one. Biggest one is Fans Tribe, less than 200,000. Then Bet Nigeria cannot get sponsored because they are already a brand.
Yeah.
Right? They have almost 1 million, 900 and something. So those ones, they are good to have a parent company that is super rich, that is Abramovich rich, right? Or Elon Musk rich in Kole Chaname and his conglomerate. Beyond that, how many people be like that? How many people? In terms of content creators in Nigeria, maybe Honest Bunch, Glitch Africa, and a few other people, then you now go to the tournament and hey, you cannot have access to the team. They are angry. The players are angry. What's it that they are angry for?
You don't play well. You see the event.
Now you go inside the field, go play against Zimbabwe, Madagascar. Why it is in a cartoon? I never know it's in a country. Or against Central African Republic. Now you lose to them or draw to them, and then you are angry. Angry for who now? And then you all take the anger on the journalists. You want the journalists to come and ask you nice question, like say, would they serve you ice cream? Now would they give you dessert?
I've seen media people go to tournaments sick. They still have to work. They will say, you see go ball, you go see for stadium. Yeah. They lie down, they try to do photographs. I know
those of you inside I know how much issues I'm dealing with. You don't have the shot, no come here.
See, I know how much I collected going to AFCON last year. Not as much as I should, but the fact that you already collected that money, you have to deliver. My brother was calling me one name before we started. Me, I'm a pastor talk or something. At a point, I did not join NLP because before you wake up,
you can't this content.
See, the moment you sleep, you don't even sleep. Because you are calculating. Abidjan is 1 hour ahead of Nigeria. You are calculating the time Nigerians are waking up.
Yeah.
What time do you want your content to go? The guys in
and you
Lagos,
want to be first to the news.
Yes.
Because that content you're bringing out, somebody else might bring something better. You want to be first to the news. If you can post it 12 midnight, which is the odd time, you want to be the
one. Now say there's too much game.
So in summary, like the sports generally is about business now. So
people should get educated about the business side of things.
So it's safe to say all of us here,
went to Ghana.
all of us here in the studio,
don't just be on the receiving end.
We went to Ghana. I took out 15 million naira. Like I told the guy that give me 15 million naira, I'll give you the money back. I was able to give back. But when we went to Ghana, forces worked against us. That was when the underwater cable cut. There was no internet. Our job is internet dependent. I've not done all African games before. Joy, I was working with Joy for the very first time. Joy told me I'm not a money person. Teresa said I'm not a money person. It's only working on this
thing for over
15 million.
This topic alone, we don't talk how many
we
minutes.
Say it.
Let me focus with this.
Me and Kalijaya and Jami were sitting. Kalijaya was Muslim fast.
Probably they were watching it for the first time, so they don't know.
You understand? He says I'm not a money person. I don't myself 15 million. That if I take out that money and I want to give my children a good treat, a good life, 15 million, I put 5 million in their investment account. In 1 year, it go turn out something. This is not going to give me anything. I'm dealing with exorbitant accommodation. I buy food, everything.
I think it's also an experience thing. It's also an experience. Now, I think now that she has worked with, she's worked with Fatil, so she knows what delivery is now.
Fatil, that's another hardworking content creator in the country.
Somebody like Fatil in America, in Europe, will be flying private jets.
Yes, no.
You understand?
She's really good at what she does.
Somebody like Toby will be flying private jet. I'm not saying it's a show of thing.
Just like this.
I never even reached private jet level. But I'm just telling you, Puja. But we're Nigerians. We'll still do all those ones finish. You still need to lick somebody behind. Flush somebody toilet before they'll give you 2 million.
They go see the see fans, they insult Puja online. So something where you carry money, go cover.
Well, still on the Club World Cup, yeah, the round of 16 stages. We've seen some couple of games. Bayern through to the quarterfinal. Defeated Flamengo. Inter yet to play.
Inter playing tonight.
Yeah, they take on Fluminense. PSG, they whitewashed Inter Miami.
Well, if you can beat Inter Milan 5-0, beating Inter Miami with...
I think anytime they see Inter, there's
something about it that goes up.
So, a lot of games to look forward to in the round of 16. Real Madrid will take on Juventus. I think that's the tie of the round of 16. Real Madrid against Juventus. Man City, Al Hilal. Another game we can also keep an eye on. So,
Man City
have made the most money right now. They've made $55.1 million just by... No, they've not even played their round of 16 game. Just by the group stages.
And your club is talking.
So
your club is having opinion. You the same money. Madrid that money no one match.
Madrid
Why
is next.
The money?
Madrid is next with $48.4 million. There's Bayern Munich 45.1. If I'm even going to Africa, with that they did not win any game. They had $9.6 million. Mamelodi Sundowns $12.6 million.
You said they played too much match.
Yes,
winning their league.
And they did not win any game.
And they got in playing all their league matches. They will not make $12 million.
Exactly, and it's good to see clubs from other continents having a share of this financial.
Imagine Remo go there.
Why they whisper?
You remember Auckland City players?
Yeah,
Auckland City, and the story about them not. They are the list on the table. They have $4.6 million. Imagine what that would do to their books.
$9.6 million.
Interesting.
All the transfer that Remo have done since they formed the club never reached $9 million in dollars.
Guys, let's talk about downside now. I mean, we saw the Benfica Chelsea game. It was towards the 90-minute mark. It was suspended due to adverse weather. So, I mean, is that something that it's beyond control? Is there anything that could be done when it comes, because we've seen so many games being suspended due to adverse weather? And I mean, Enzo Maresca came out to say after the game that when a football game is suspended for that long, is no more.
The energy is gone.
The energy is gone. Everything is gone. So I think we all can agree that that's a downside to the Club World Cup so far.
But it's force majeure now. You cannot do anything about it. And then I was in Dubai 2022, and I realized that, you know how you see man propose, God dispose. This lawma work we God they do. Bless they do them again, because man can even also bend the hand of God. In Dubai, I didn't only stay in the Dubai side of things. I went to Charjah, that is almost like Mushin. And then I went to Kofakan. Yes, Charjah is Mushin. There are more Nigerians there than Dubaians, if there's any word like that. And I saw a lot more Benin people, a lot more Yoruba people, a lot more Igbo people. I saw Nigerians homeless. So Dubai is not as heavenly as people think. There are also some places where, the wrecks of society are. And then I went to Kofakan. Kofakan is the extension of FIR. It's very hot. Yes, you can fry your egg on top of your bonnet. It's very hot. If you don't have AC in any house in Kofakan, you are with God. Now, why I'm saying that is I now came back and was like, why is that place that hot and this place is mild? I realized that they altered the cloud. They did a little bit of cloud seeding. Overdoing it was what caused that flood that happened, right? But they did a little bit of cloud seeding. And now I did the research, and I found out that other countries have done that in time past. So it's something that Americans can look into, because it's about the same period that they will host the World Cup.
Yeah.
It's what Qatar
people have said that, okay,
it's what Qatar was guarding against when they insisted that the World Cup be done in that period that they did it in Qatar.
November, December.
So America can decide to say, okay, you know what, November, December will be too much thick of winter. There'll be a lot of airplanes, flights that will be cancelled.
Delayed.
But let's do something close to winter. But then it's going to be in the middle of the season. But Qatar hosted the World Cup in the middle of the season. We can find a way around it. I think that the World Club Cup have exposed what is possible within this time. It's easy if you're strolling around drinking a cup of water, but if you have to run at 100 meters per hour, 100 miles per hour, and all the energy, the body jamming that come with football, the heart pumping, then you need a solution. I also think that there is a possibility for a few stadium upgrade. Almost all the stadium, in the US that will host the World Cup are indoor stadium. They could do the the frost AC system where the stadium is cool. But then what do you do with with Mexico. I know Canada will not suffer for that. Canada have 8 months of winter. So Canada is always cold. It's like Russia. Nobody's going to have issues with that one. So I think the World Cup will find a way around it. We were talking World Cup here, semi-finals. People have never qualified for the World Cup. The semi-final matches of the World Cup, the stadium is already sold out. The tickets are sold out.
Yeah. So I mean, and what makes it good is that it's not just the USA hosting. So you have options of other countries and all that. So that makes it more easy on the eyes as well. So if you've enjoyed the conversation so far, just hit the subscribe button and hit the like button. Drop a comment. We'll go on a short break. When we return, the conversation continues. Still the Gliders on Bet WGB TV. It's been fun so far in the studio. Let's continue in the conversation. Now let's talk transfers. Mikola, I'm going to come to you on this. I don't know how satisfied you've been on Arsenal's window so far, but I think it's confirmed now. Thomas Partey will depart at the expiration of his contract. You are happy?
Yes.
I don't think Mikola is happy Partey is leaving, but I mean, Norgard from Brentford.
Better.
Arsenal are close to getting Christian Norgard. Now, a lot of Arsenal fans have come out on Twitter to say, why let go of Thomas Partey that's over 30 and get a player in similar age bracket to come in as his replacement? What can you say about that transfer decision from Arsenal?
I think for Arsenal, it's very disappointing. To be honest, I feel like there's always pieces of the chest that gets taken out every time. I was going to make a video last week, but I'm going to use all of the points that I drafted. So it is just like, for every time Arsenal has a complete team, there's somewhere that's very incomplete. Do you understand? So over the years, there's Van Persie, but there's no very good defender. Whenever it comes to, there's Ozil, there's Sanchez, there's Giroud, there are no midfielders. There's Cazorla, there's Ramsey, there's Fabregas. In those eras, there are no defenders. So eventually, it now came to the point where there's at least a formidable team in 2020 when Mikel took, there was no formidable team. Forget the FA Cups and all of those coming, because you were getting battered by every team, every corner. Yeah. Now there is a formidable team. I feel like the best football I've watched in the last close to 10 years in Arsenal was the 2022-2023 season. Mikel Arteta's first challenging for the title, where he eventually finished second. I think it was 5 points behind Manchester City. That was the season he just got Zinchenko and just got Gabriel.
In that season, Thomas Partey missed that
was the season
156 games.
The midfield game, the midfield was Thomas Partey. The major midfield was Thomas Partey. There was Granit Xhaka and there was Odegaard.
And he missed 16 games.
We already knew what the lineup was.
No,
the lineup was Aaron Ramsdale.
No, he's driving us something. Let's.
There was White, there was Zinchenko, and it felt like that was the most exciting style of play that Arsenal could go. Now, the mistake that Arsenal continues to make is the fact that I don't know if it's an ego problem. I don't know if it's a inexperienced problem. If it is Mikel Arteta not knowing how to keep big players on the bench. So for time immemorial, Arsenal have been known not to always have a very good squad depth. I think that's one of the pros of Arsene Wenger in his glory days. The fact that he could keep very big names on the bench and they could always come up to do something.
For Which every big time, name did Arsene Wenger have on his bench?
For every don't let me allow me. Okay. The days of the Invincibles, it was not just the 11. It was also some very big names.
And Mumu.
Oh my God!
Allow me
that.
It was my era, so I know.
Emmanuel, I'm enjoying this.
I like the fact that they have so different opinion here.
Allow me land. So now that we move forward, and the problem with that squad was allowing Granit Xhaka leave. Now, Granit Xhaka already completed his arc of going from that bad boy to now coming into the good boy era. And before they could replace Granit Xhaka, it took almost another 2 seasons. Now, it was Merino was coming in, it was Declan Rice was coming in to replace Thomas Partey, right? Declan Rice was 105 million, supposed to come and replace Thomas Partey. But after trying out Declan Rice in the number 6 role for a couple of seasons and for a couple of weeks and for a couple of games, you figured out that there was no way he was displacing what Thomas Partey had to the side. And then they eventually pushed him to the number 8, pushed Merino up front and wherever it is. Now you're about to lose another major. Now we found another redeem. Thomas Partey in 6, Declan Rice in 8, Odegaard. and then so for example, after allowing Xhaka leave, the left hand side became completely useless. We saw the worst part of Martinelli. Because there was no Zinchenko and there was no Granit Xhaka, a left-footed person that can easily whip in crosses or lay down the passes into the pocket. Now that you have sorted out that final part of replacing Granit Xhaka, why on earth are you allowing a Thomas Partey leave? We were all in this studio together when we saw what Thomas Partey added to the team against Real Madrid. And in the first leg against PSG, we were all here to say the absence of Thomas Partey was felt, right?
But what was the scoreline?
So you're more
what was the
why
scoreline? You're missing some fact in this.
no
your analogy.
so Mikolo, you're more on why allow Partey leave. You're not more on who is coming in as a replacement now.
It is about the fact that for every one step forward, Arsenal tends to take 2 steps backward.
On this one, no, I disagree.
We are going to see it. It's going to play out, and I'm very sure it's going to play out because number one, you have allowed Partey leave. You have allowed Jorginho also leave. Now you are bringing in a Nogard. Now, before you go into allowing Nogard enter into the system, I want to understand what the plan is, to be honest. Zubimendi is also going to still struggle.
I was talking about Zubimendi.
I agree with Mikolo to an extent.
One final thing is the fact that when Merino was coming in, it felt like Arsenal already found a like-for-like replacement with Granit Xhaka, but it's not. That's not his style of play. He's not Granit Xhaka regen. It's just the same way we're not going to say Zubimendi is going to come in and replace Thomas Partey outrightly, or Nogard is going to replace.
I think that's the replacement for Partey. If you ask me,
not
even Nogard or something.
Let me come in.
You can't take nothing away from the experience of Nogard.
Let me come in here.
What is going to bring?
Thomas Partey should not be leaving.
Of all the things that he said, there are 2 valid points he raised. I cannot say because it was economical with the truth, I will not accept those. One was the talk of squad depth. That's something that Arsenal is fixing now for the very first time. And going back to the Wenger era, Wenger a useless coach. Wenger a useless coach. Wenger competed in the Premier League. Competed in the Premier League where there was only one king, and we only won the titles when that Man United was refueling. We didn't win the title because Wenger used the golden generation, the best set of players to ever play for the club in his entire history, to not achieve much, to achieve basic results that any team with that kind of squad will achieve. So let's not bring Wenger into this conversation. The unbeaten team would have gone unbeaten in the last 5 Premier League seasons and not win the title. How many points did they use to go unbeaten? 91, I'll be 87 points.
That was what was required at the time.
It wasn't what was required because there was only one competition, and Man United, and then Man United were struggling. They were not in their effervescent best. Now let's come to this squad. You have solid defense. The same thing Arsene Wenger inherited when he came in. George Graham built the team on when they used to call them boring Arsenal. Some of the people who watch Gen Z football should also remember the history of the club that they support. Arsenal will score you 1 goal in the first minute of the game and defend it. Once they say 1-0 to the Arsenal, that's how the match will take end. I don't care. I went to Highbury like many occasions to watch a boring Arsenal team, but because it's my team, once they win 3 points is guaranteed, we will sing ole ole and go home and be happy. Now 1-0 up, that was the conversation then. But let's come to this team. A team that is not very big competed and consecutively stayed in second position against one of the best teams in Europe, not just in England, in this period. And the Liverpool, who were the perennial second, came when Manchester City dropped and won the league in that same season. But let's look at Thomas Partey, who is the bone of the conversation. Thomas Partey spent 5 seasons with Arsenal. His first season when he was signed, we're happy. I mean, we saw what he did at Atletico Madrid. He missed about 16 games in his first season. His second season, that was when he was out for 54 days with injury. Second season, 86 days with injury. Third season, 136 days with injury. Fourth season, 87 days out with injury. It was only last season where he went out for 6 days and missed 1 game. So if you put that in a 5-year contract, the way we analyze contract, you will say the man have defrauded Arsenal. Because but
the games he played, did he make up for the
no,
days
he
missed?
He did not make up because
we know Arsenal fans. I mean, Thomas Partey is one player Arsenal fans love.
With or without Thomas Partey, Arsenal ended second twice. The one season where he played the full season, we ended second. And then if you prorata, if you statistically measure the 3 seasons, this one where he played, where we ended up second, is one of the worst of the 3. When we finished second 3 seasons ago, we were a good team. Second season, 2 seasons ago, we were a good team. It was last season where we finished second and everybody is mocking us now because as good as they were, we scored less, we created less, we're not that good.
Had more injuries.
So
are we not going to factor in
we're
the
also
fact
going
that
to factor the fact that the team had more injuries
Last
than
season.
any other time. But when Thomas Partey was also having his catalogue of injuries and the other players were not injured, we're the second highest scoring team in the Premier League for 2 seasons back to back. We missed the Premier League title, one by 5 points, the second one by 2 points. We dragged the title to the very end. The only thing that changed in this last season was that we got to the semi-finals of the UEFA Champions League. But remember, we got knocked out pretty early in the cup games. Now let's put this thing in a scale. You go and give him a new contract. He's asking for more than what he's earning currently.
because he's not gotten a new contract in 5 years.
Hold on now. You give him a new contract. You remember he spoke this with his own
And
mouth.
you're not giving him 5 years.
Atletico Madrid told him they will not pay his agent 10%,
Yes,
which
he
is
said
a
they will give him
normally
7%.
accepted norm. They said they'll give him 3%, not even 7, 3%. That's how he became an Arsenal player. Arsenal paid all that money and put him in his ward, in a salary that is many times, these are his words, more than what Atletico Madrid was paying him. So he made a king's ransom from playing for Arsenal. Did he deliver based on what he signed for? The answer is no. Now,
I think that's where
no.
I didn't expect your comments.
Norgard is not going to be a starter. What we're forgetting is that the majority of the Arsenal injuries were in the forward line. Nobody signed Merino to become a top striker. Merino was signing to become a left-sided player in the midfield. So that's an extra body in the midfield. So look at the midfielders that Arsenal is having. The captain, Odegaard, who I think needs competition. Declan Rice, Zubimendi, Norgard, Merino. Kai Havertz can still drop and not play as a top striker, but as a 8.
Yeah.
That's the position that Merino plays, right? So as a 8 or the position that Declan Rice play. So you have 6 players in that midfield position. I don't know if you understand.
None that can still touch Thomas Partey on his day.
And you don't need anybody to touch Thomas Partey. That's the thing.
So what you're saying,
when Alex Song came into Arsenal, he couldn't lace the boots of Patrick Vieira. But me and you know that he did his best. When Cesc Fabregas came in, you cannot compare Cesc Fabregas to a Gilberto Silva or Emmanuel Petit or Andres Limpa. I'm not sure you know that guy. Paul Messin, who, even though he's an alcoholic, but on the ball, he's a Maradona, right? Cesc Fabregas played is football. I don't like one player trying to be like another player. What you bring will bring a different dynamics and a different dimension to the team that you play for.
That's what we said before spending 2 years to replace Granit Xhaka.
We were not trying to replace him. We were building a team. With Granit Xhaka, we didn't make the top 4. Without Granit Xhaka, we make the top 4. We compete for the title.
And we made second
why
place
are we
too.
really playing to replace a Granit Xhaka?
In all of these seasons,
With Granit
in all
Xhaka-
of these seasons now, all of the progress that has happened in the last 4 seasons, Granit Xhaka's last season is the closest Arsenal have gone to winning the title. 2 points off.
No.
5 points. 5
No,
points.
5 points. Then with the second season, we're 2 points off. So why is it the closest? Is it my mathematics that is terrible, or they don't teach mathematics in Unilag?
so in a nutshell,
that
you're
was
saying you
No, it's not the most exciting.
So
football.
I
No,
they showed you.
I disagree.
They said they don't do the maths for you. They like
His season, that is the
University
glorious
of First
season.
Choice.
We did not do Champions League. We got beaten by Bayern. We got beaten seriously by Bayern. But then without him in the squad, we got to the quarterfinals. Something that we don't do normally. Without him in the squad, we got to the semi-finals. Something that's only happened twice
to discuss.
in 130 something years of Arsenal. So
Yeah.
when you look at it, you can't convince me that as a coach, I want to rely on my players every week. If you're going to go out maybe once in a while, why has anybody come out to tell you that Gabriel Jesus is not a good player? Nobody's been able to say that. The only thing is he can't stay fit enough to play the ball. You think if people like Ryan Giggs, Paul Scholes were always injured, David Beckham were always injured, going out and disrupting the rhythm of the team, you think Man United would have all those titles that they have with Sir Alex Ferguson? No. So if I have a player who played for me for 5 seasons and only was available in 1 season, man, get out of my club. I'm not going to give you another contract. It's as simple as that. A bus conductor that does not balance the book should not be a bus conductor. I rather not have a bus conductor and wait for my passengers to gather my money and give to me. So that's it. But look at the squad. You have a Zubimendi. Zubimendi is not going to be Thomas Partey. And since when Thomas Partey is the standard of how Arsenal defensive midfielders should be. We've had quite a plethora of them, and they play differently. They come with their own style. Every player in midfield in Arsenal comes with something different, right? But at the end of the day, you want to see the team progress. Why is Arsenal failing? It's not because of a defensive midfielder. The lack of a defensive midfielder is not why Arsenal have not won the title. One season was because Man City was unplayable. The others was because we didn't have a centre forward. Now, before this transfer window will end in September, Arsenal will get at least one top striker into the team, and then we'll not have to hope that it doesn't get injured. If Arsenal doesn't win it, there's nothing Arsenal have failed to win that is incumbent on bad midfield. Every complaint we've had about Arsenal not winning anything is incumbent on if only they have a striker. If only they have a striker. Remember, without a top striker, Arsenal was the second highest scoring team in the Premier League for 2 seasons. This past season, as bad as it was, Arsenal is still in the top 5 highest scoring team in the Premier League. With all the injuries, people like them, they have the most injury layout, right? People like them ended in 17th. Even they won Europa Cup. And the other one, ended, where did Man United end again?
15th.
They got relegated in the MPFL.
So in a nutshell for you, you're saying you
Thomas
have no
Partey
issues
should
with
get out, he should
Arsenal
go.
letting go of Thomas Partey.
I like the midfield.
And you have no issue with the replacement as well coming in.
They should focus seriously on getting 2 striker, Benjamin Sesko and Gyökeres. If they can't get that one, they should get a Gyökeres or Benjamin Sesko and then get another striker to join them.
Well, I mean, like you rightly said, I wanted to ask what would you make of Arsenal's transfer window so far, but like you said, the transfer window is still very much open. Timothy, I don't know if you want to share your thoughts on this. Do you think Arsenal, what they've done so far, are they going to pose any threat next season?
Yeah, they are doing a decent job. The only place I know that they need to fix is the attack, and which is they need a striker. They've added another defender. Christian Mosquera from Valencia. Not the maybe what I watched in Valencia.
Close, not official.
But at least to an extent is a decent central defender. And bringing in Nogard, we saw what Nogard did, even with set pieces from Brentford. And if you have a team like Arsenal who can depend on set pieces, yeah, who can depend on set pieces, then it's a good one. Although I understand what Mikolo is saying, that okay, you need
but
that.
It's not that name that's it's not.
But then there's Zubimendi.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying it's not that name that that sparks fear
We
to
not
rival
want
players.
name. We want a team. Arsenal needs name. Arsenal needs level raisers.
That's why the window is still very much open, like you said. So we
Arsenal
wait to
needs
see what
level
they are.
raisers.
But you need some signing that
People are
sparks
signing
fears.
Florian Wirtz after winning the league, breaking their transfer record. You are signing Frimpong. You are signing Nogard. What are you saying?
So like you said, Mikolo, the
will see
window
what
is still very much open.
Level raisers.
We'll see what.
It is level
Florian
raisers. Do you know how many
Wirtz.
players that Manchester City have signed?
Yeah, I think
In
I
this
understand.
window,
With-
Man
I understand.
United
level
signed
raisers. If you are
Alexis
signing- if you are
Sanchez, a
signing-
level raiser, and he destroyed the team.
If you are
At times, you
They
need to
signed
make
another level
no,
raiser.
at times you need to
in
make those
Pogba.
statements.
if you are signing someone that doesn't have name,
At times you need to make those statements. We know it doesn't.
I understand
it don't always
because
work
there is
out.
already a team. I think there's already a team.
When you're
Imagine
building a
like Man
team.
United now, they have, like you were mentioning, level raisers. They have Bruno Fernandes. As much as crazy and stupid as the team is, you saw what Bruno Fernandes did in terms of numbers.
Individual,
And
yeah.
Imagine.
everywhere.
No, I'm not talking. I'm not saying. That's what I'm saying. I said I'm putting it
if
side by
Manchester
side.
United are signing
No, I'm
now,
putting it
should
side
they
by
be
side.
signing? Should they be signing people? Let's say
Let's say Matheus Cunha.
if Manchester
putting
United
it-
was
What
to
level
sign,
is Cunha raising?
I'm putting it side by side.
would they sign people like Martinelli?
They signed Højlund.
No, I'm putting it
That
side by
one
side. I'm
is
saying
bad.
They signed
Arsenal.
Zexi.
Bad
Emmanuel,
business.
what I'm saying is
Bad business.
they already have a team, but like Mikolo said, they need level raisers. Impute 1 or 2
What
or 3
level raiser
people.
is Mike Skelly?
What level raiser is Nogard?
What level
No, we
raiser?
can
No.
put it side by side.
That's what I said.
You
They
can't
already have
always
a
work
team.
out.
You
but
can't have
sometimes
so
you need
many
to make
level
a
raisers.
statement.
Maybe
how
just
you-
3 or 4
You
people.
see how you people will come here and shoot yourself in the foot. Games are too many. This one. You're signing players that will not cost you much, but you get the squad depth that you need. One. Secondly, there is still level raisers in this team. Like it or not,
How many level raisers?
Declan Rice was a level raiser when
It
you
was a
signed
statement
him.
signing.
No,
It was a statement
no,
signing for
hold
huge
on
money.
now. Hold on. Let's calm first. The entire back line of Arsenal is a bunch of bloody average players, the best defenders in the Premier League. Back to back, Golden Glove.
Saliba was not average.
Saliba that was signed and loaned out. How
Yes.
can you be a level raiser and they sign you, they loan you out?
Because he had issues
Even
now.
the coach of
He
the
had
French
issues.
national team says he's not a reliable defender. Those are his words. He's not a reliable
But
defender.
you mentioned Declan Rice. That's why we say we have to put it side
Saliba
by side. It was
has
signed for
entered
huge money
this
as
season.
well.
Hold on.
Before
now.
coming back.
Arsenal loaned him.
Yes.
After signing him, you
Yeah,
don't
but
sign.
before even
you
signing
don't
him
sign
was-
a
he was
level
a-
raiser.
Before signing him, he was also a very good talent. Now he was a good talent.
Oh.
Then he
Now
didn't
we're
work
talking
out.
talent.
He was a very good
Nah,
talent.
nah. you're
That's
going to
level raiser
sign.
now.
You're correct. Is that not a level raiser?
Mm-hmm.
If you sign with Benjamin Sesko, is that not a level raiser?
Have they signed them?
What do you want to raise? You want
Have
to
they
sign
signed-
Messi, prime
Wait, I
Messi?
want to ask you, have they signed them?
Would they not sign them?
Would they sign them?
Yes.
Are you sure they will sign them?
Absolutely.
Are you sure Arsenal will not end up with Watkins or Madueke?
No, no, they're not.
But
going to-
Emmanuel, I mean, like
Yeah.
Nicolo was saying, if you look at Manchester City, they attack, they have.
Bro, you have
If Alan,
check
if Alan is not
signing
playing,
this one.
Mamouche can play very
Bro.
well. You know that
So
very
Shaq
well.
is a level raiser.
It's a level where to
Cherki.
an extent to the
What
backup.
level? Where's it coming from?
It's come from Lyon.
Lyon. So a player signed from Lyon, not PSG.
Best
He's a
player.
level raiser.
Best player
Thunder
from
go
Lyon,
fire- Thunder and fire
He's
Cherki for
not
level
that.
raiser.
They signed
He's
Tijani
not that
Reinders.
best. He's not top 16 in a 20
Nobody
league season.
cares.
How are you saying somebody that's not a level raiser?
Starter.
How are you letting Jorginho go and Partey go and you're signing Nogard? What are you saying now?
I think
Nicolo not agree.
that's where a lot of Arsenal
You let
fans are
32-year-old
losing it.
Partey go and
You
you're
know.
signing a 31-year-old Nogard.
Because if I'm signing you to be a squad member, I'm not going to pay you 300,000. 300,000 is what Thomas Partey needs.
You are upsetting
To
the
stay.
balance of the team, and that's
Which
what I'm
balance?
saying.
Balance of a
Zubimendi
of a
okay.
doctor.
I've heard.
If a guy who always go to the hospital,
Yeah.
who is doing IT with your club, I
Hey
beg
guys,
you.
you know, we still have a lot to talk about Arsenal because the transfer window is still on. But let's head into our final talking point of the show, and we need to, you know, wrap it up quickly. We saw the President's Federations Cup final played this weekend, the male and the men and the women's
You
final.
people gathered here
Mik-
and jeans Abakaliki.
Mikolo, you were
Mikolo.
at the venue.
Boring football.
How was your experience like? I mean,
You
congratulations
didn't play
to
that boring football that you were
Kwara United. They won, and who won the female Rivers Angels?
Rivers Angels,
Fantastic game. They
10th
came
time.
from 2 goals down, 2-2, and on penalties. So, how was your experience for you on Saturday?
Yeah, it was nice game. When you talk about the football was like very good. For example, when I posted something about the trophy presentation, and somebody was saying that, oh, thank God I didn't come. I said no. That he said he didn't miss out on much. I said no, don't say that. Forget the fact that there was like a lot of drama when it concerns, you know, lifting off of trophy and all that. But the football itself, talking about the football, it was really good. Nazarawa Amazons and Rivers Angels, they faced before in the playoffs, and these
Yeah.
are like 2 of the top teams. And
Yeah.
Rivers Angels, like their MO said, I feel like Lagos is now a fertile line for them. This is like their 10th Federations Cup title, but I still feel like Nasarawa will feel very hard done. You know, I saw their photographer, a female, she was crying, and because they took the lead 2-0, they were leading, and then Rivers Angels came back in like 10 minutes, scored 2 goals, and then it went to penalties and they lost out. So it was it was a really good final, and then, you know, very good talent on display. Taiwo Afolabi of Rivers Angels, you know, she was with the Falconets, and then she's really doing good. There's also Janet. Janet's very young talent.
Very young. I
good,
saw her at the
very
Artisan
bullish-
Shola Academy
bullish-
when she was like, she
bullish
was really
striker,
good.
and that was really good. And then for the male final, it was good as well. Beautiful football. At least we managed to fuel our stadium to 90% capacity this
Had to
time.
see a 0-0
You know,
game,
It was
beautiful football.
interesting,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah, it was.
It was
actually.
interesting if you
was
watched the game.
end-to-end. And I also like the fact that Abakaliki also came to play this time around. You know, they didn't really waste
shut you
time
up,
as much as I expected. They still did that. You know, they were playing for the penalties, and it really went to penalties. Unfortunately for them, the goals of penalties said you can't be lucky
All
this
the
many
time.
times against MPFL teams, because you defeated Enyimba, you defeated Ikorodu, and you beat some giants on your way to the final. Doesn't mean you'll be able to get one over Kwara in the final. Good game from Kwara United, you know, brought out the whole community. They had 70% of the fans in the stands sharing this thing.
This one was massive.
I feared for them that it was going to be like last season, because last season Abia Warriors also came with fans, started sharing jersey, and El Kanemi shut them up. But luckily for
Yeah, Funja
Kwara-
Warriors are different.
so they really did well, and there's a lot of politics that went out. You know, 3 governors were in the house. You know, all of the politics that goes on with Nigerian football and all of that, and not to also mention
When I was playing,
the
it was a
presentation.
good thing for the governor to be
the
around.
presentation-
I know you were going to go there, so
I'm never letting
just
it go.
skip it. Keep it short.
Presentation, I'm never letting go the presentation. It's I don't know when we are going to get it sorted in this country. Presentation wise, I feel like we're still backward, and these are the people that lead our sport are people that you feel like they go to events, they go to
You
tournaments,
see how
abroad,
it's
you
done.
see how it is done. In what way do you feel as a club chairman you have to come to the front and raise the trophy? Why? In what
The
way
governor
have
is
you
there, the
ever
governor is there.
in what way have you ever seen that? So they presented, first off, there was a red flag. The red flag is that they presented trophy and medals to the first position first. So Abakaliki were supposed to get the medals first. They got it after Kwara United have started celebrating. So
Wow.
you could see Kwara United raising the trophy in front. Our Kaliki were
Collecting
marching
medals.
behind to get their own medals. So first things first, they presented the trophy to the captain. The NFF president and everybody, and the governor of Lagos State. Now they also took a picture with the governor of Kwara State. Then the chairman and the captain were coming forward to come and leave the trophy, and then the chairman
of the federation,
snatched it and
The FA
went to the
chairman.
front. The FA chairman came to the front, took the trophy and raised it.
Kwara
to
FA chairman.
yeah, he's dragged it. Then went to
Dragged
present
it.
it to the
He
governor.
dragged-
Is that not eye service?
no, that one is first. The first thing was the chairman of the club,
Okay.
I think, came to the front, took the trophy and raised it.
Yeah, I saw that one.
He
But the
didn't give
person
it
that
to
dragged
the,
it.
eventually the captain was waiting like, okay, now you've had your moment, let me just raise
Raise.
so we can jubilate. And then the FA chairman then came in, snatched the trophy and went to give it to the governor.
And funnily enough,
within 5 seconds,
Thank God I didn't go there.
the fans had already encroached. And also there's another appeal. I want to
Nicolo,
appeal to-
explain why. I watched the video you posted.
Yeah.
The captain already snapped the trophy with the governor.
Yes, already.
Explain why the chairman had to do same.
Because of eye service, we are winning, you know. And then some people are trying to justify and they say it's emotions. How is it emotions? Have you ever seen this before?
Can you not be
in
disciplined?
everything? Do you understand? So
The trophy is going to Kwara State.
another thing,
You do
can
away
they are
with
still going
it.
they are still going to go to the governor's office. So eventually,
Yes, now.
my own problem also is probably a message to the NFF, the security guys, and all of that. The journalists are not always your problem, and I'm saying this to like everybody that is in charge of security. The journalists are
Your marketers actually.
marketers. These are the people that paint the image of the league. So there's one complaint I want to make is the fact that they put the photographers halfway line. They put us on the touch line. They took the trophy presentation to the halfway line, to the center circle, and told us we had to remain there. Right now, the fans of Kwara United had already started encroaching on this side of the pitch, and then security cannot do anything to them. To the extent that when this old brara was happening, a photographer tried to run inside just to go and get at least a
A
picture.
closer picture.
Fans had already encroached, and the security were not even bothered about the fans.
Fans
They were
was
more concerned about the photographer that ran in. And that's like the most embarrassing thing. Before you start
Because
the game,
I had a
there's
journalist-
No
embarrassment.
comment.
Before you present,
Because
there's
I
embarrassment.
had a journalist that went and he said he made the caption, he took a video and he said not every time you go to the media stand where they'll say stand up for a special guest. He had to sit at the place. He bought a ticket and sat where fans were going to sit.
And that's another issue. So
Because he said it was like, what's the point of going to where the media will be, and then someone is saying, oh, you have to stand up. There's one special guy that will come and sit there.
So the VIP section of the stadium, they were like extra chairs labeled. This one chairman, this one president, this one governor. So all of those black and red seats in the VIP center were not enough that you had to go and start on standing media people that are sit in the other section.
Overbooking.
Well, we hope one day we'll get it right, because
this.
this complaints have been coming when it comes to trophy presentation as well. I was in a Kenya for Remo Star's presentation as well. I saw something.
Remo guys,
Yeah, Remo,
they took charge
for how
of
they
it.
tried. At least the people in charge still find a way to sabotage it. But I mean, we hope we get it right as we move on when it
And
comes
please,
to
may they respect media.
our football.
Please respect media. It's
So we hope the media gets respected as we move along.
They
when it
wonder
comes
why
to
the league
presentation
that
in
they
the league.
get sponsors or the cup that they get sponsors. The Premier League or all the competitions that you see, the power behind the marketing is the media. Media have accesses. Do you see the space, the assets that Speed have? FIFA give him access to do behind the scene. He was talking directly with FIFA president. But here they will tell you, even through second game, I was so pissed that they banned media, and then they allow some. Let me not insult anybody.
So what that means for Kwara United is they will represent Nigeria in the CAF Confederation
Most
Cup.
likely will be
Kwara
in Lagos
United
as well.
alongside
Abia
Abia Warriors.
Warriors.
Then for the CAF Champions League, we have Remo Stars and
Rivers
Rivers United. So
United.
we wish all four teams all the best when it comes to continental football, and hopefully, I beg they make it past the preliminary round
Okay.
and
That
qualify
coefficient
for
there.
the group stage. Really proper. It's been wonderful
You're
on the
asking for
show.
too much now.
I've had fun doing this with the guys. My name is Emmanuel
set
Sebastian.
us up for fight
Don't forget to drop a comment. I mean, we had so many talking points on the show.
And thank you to all our subscribers.
Yeah,
I
thank you
mean,
so much to
Yeah,
our
you guys are
subscribers. you
lifting
guys,
us
you
up,
guys
giving
drop,
us
those
reason
of you
to
who
go
drop comments, thank you so much.
Yeah.
We had a lot of talking points. We had a review of our first 6 months of the year. We talked about Arsenal, we talked
Share
about the
yours,
Youth Relations Cup. So drop a comment in the comment section as you enjoy the show. It's still the Gliders till we come away again next time. Bye bye.
Au revoir.